Alrighty then, greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today I am here with, I believe, the Darkest Light. Yes, and we are discussing
Yes.
the Inca, or according to him, just Cuzco. Because apparently Cuzco are the people that have all the content, and the broader Inca faction has a little bit, but it is mostly just the city itself. But shall take a
Yeah, it
look.
seemed like it was all just for the Cusco tag, and then like barely any of it's actually about the Inca tag.
Hmm. See then. Yes, late. I know I'm late, and I don't have much time today either because I need to be going in just about half an hour, so I do not have much time at all. So let us be going. I don't imagine it's going to be very long though. But as the time has come after years of consolidation and politics for our people to expand their influence outside our great valley, to defeat our enemies and to follow the paths of the mountains to each of the corners of this world. Are we ready to take on this destiny, or will those who oppose us beat us before reaching our prime? Prime being the proper Inca tag. Inca culture, interestingly, being a thing specifically. How ironic would it be if someone formed the Inca but not with Inca
Well,
culture?
the Inca was the name of the people. That's why when they say it's like the Inca Empire, that essentially means Empire of the Incan people.
Mm-hmm.
The empire's actual name was Tawantinsuyu.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes
Inca being a culture is 100% correct.
the I imagine then the name would not be dynamic based on the culture who forms it then
No, they made it
because
Inca,
what?
but with a C. They made it the European one.
Okay, yeah, of course.
I wish it was Tawantinsuyu, mate. The government reform is called Tawantinsuyu.
Great, wonderful, splendid. Look at them, all nestled in there. Uh, Looks like they've got a lot of land next to them that no one actually owns. Don't think any of those are owned tiles.
Yep.
Huh.
You can see more literally in the next picture.
Yeah. What a unique start in the middle of the Andes. Yeah, very interesting position for that reason. It's surrounded by lots of just empty, uncolonized land that people will be able to fill out, I suppose. Hmm. But they do have a route of expansion without colonizing anything to their southeast along the mountains. So there's things to do regardless. But they have Andean monarchy, which gives you monthly development going up. And there's a red yes for has Panicus. I guess
Because those are bad.
they're not good. You don't want those. Oh.
They are correct, and they were a big problem that the Inca had. So they are bad.
Hmm.
You
Oh.
will see why.
It looks like shortly. Yes. And they get two different types of marriages, which is curious. From prominent among the natives of the Andes, laws of the religion are weaved into the succession laws, forcing new rulers to start their reign with no worldly possessions of their own. Oh, well, that's curious. And panicas are a government building, and all owned locations gain a panica whenever the ruler dies. Oh.
Yes. That's why the Inca
Oh!
conquered so much. So the country is considered to be the own property of the Sapa Inca. And whenever they die, they keep that property. Meaning that in order to get more land for themselves, successive Sapa Inca have to conquer more land that wasn't already held by them. Eventually, they started to run out of like feasibly easy land to conquer.
So, what the heck do you do? Well, who rules it then? Like, how does it happen?
The
How does
dead
it
guy.
work? The dead guy rules it,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't conquer it from the dead guy.
Nope. It's still owned by your tag.
So but it gives you minus 1,000 crown power. So you still get
100, but
money and stuff
yeah.
from it theoretically, but you can't use any any cabinet actions on it, I suppose, is the main thing that does.
Yep. That, as much as I like to pretend the Inca were perfect, that was the biggest problem the Inca had. That system. And that's historical, because that was a genuine problem the Inca were running into in the real world, where so much land was owned by dead rulers.
That's weird. It's so hard for me to comprehend that. Uh, Sheesh. I mean, the extra levy size is curious. I wonder what the logic behind that. This system is pretty much the reason they couldn't fight the Spanish. I think that there is a bigger reason they couldn't fight the Spanish. Uh, I highly doubt this was even remotely the main reason why they couldn't fight the Spanish. Uh, because sure this is the law and all that, this is the precedent, but I think that when the invaders from overseas show up, the rules about who owns land and the technicalities kind of go out the window a bit. I think the bigger problem was definitely the fact that 90% of their population died and their whole societal structure collapsed. So it was basically just land you could walk into and take because no one even knew who was in charge. But yeah, I don't know why specifically it gives extra levy size, and I don't know all the specifics of what negative crown power does. But I'm sure there'll be some people will have specific answers to that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
You got to blob and try to reform out of Panaca.
I guess that's the end goal, despite the fact that there's no they don't have the doom mechanics, but they still have the need to reform in a manner of speaking. Yeah, as is our tradition, every own location gets a panica. Double-edged sword. They increase levy size, but their cost is removing the crown power from the location they're built in. Therefore, they might prove potentially very good buildings for locations distant from the capital where you have low control, while being very negative for those locations close to the capital. They can be removed, though, by paying a cost of legitimacy. Okay. Well, that's alright then. Just seen as illegitimate for you to yoink the dead ruler's land and I mean, I can see that's probably something that happened, at least sometimes. Because how could it not? But cost of legitimacy makes sense as well. Makes it a pretty constant battle.
Yes.
But yeah, you have these different marriages. Country interaction. Propose one of our marriageable female characters, either a nobility or a clergy, and marry the ruler. And you gain you gain 100 plus 100 opinion of each other. And unlike royal marriages, does not create diplomatic or royal bond. Yeah, because they don't have to be a member of our dynasty. Okay. That's interesting. Huh. And then the other marriage is character will be married off to the local governor of a target province, and this will have the following effect on the province. Oh. Yeah, lots less unrest and separatism.
That will help you conquer so much better, so much easier, mate.
Yeah. Because separatism and unrest are going to be a big problem in places that aren't your culture, and there's a lot of cultures. I do believe that the Andes has a lot of smaller cultures in their cultural group, so it's going to take a long time to assimilate those, and many players may choose the path of instead trying to accept a lot of them until you can eventually press the big end game assimilate button where you bring all cultures in your group into one big culture that you create.
Glorious Quechua
Uh,
people.
the cabinet action to use recruit clause. The characters you can marry through the former actions. Makes the clergy like you, and that's a lot of days. The fuck?
Yeah, but you get 2 to 7.
Ooh. 2 to 7. Okay, you know what? 2 to 7 characters, and it takes years. Yeah, that's not the worst.
Yeah, because they have to go out and they have to like
Mm-hmm.
do all the measurements, check for deformities. Look, okay, you're pretty, but are you dumb as bricks? You are. Sorry. Next.
There's my favorite button, though, right next to it. Pop promote culture. Pop
Yeah.
assimilation speed. Go brr. By the way, already reworked the marriage unlocked by the Inti religion. Yes, nice, nice. Yes. As much as I complain, as much as I love finding reasons to complain about the about Paradox's work on EU5 because it's fun, it's honestly hard most of the time because they're really good at doing stuff like this. People point out something and they're just instant like, oh, okay, well, yeah, fix that. Yeah, and yeah, maximum amount of spouses instead of making it just this is the amount of spouses, which is very good. I prefer that a lot. Yeah, lots of different lots of different potential laws. The meta system, peasants can migrate. Ooh, that makes it a lot easier to develop specific locations. Of course, the problem is that it's a case of when peasants can migrate, they will leave places you want them sometimes, because sometimes you really want peasants in a spot that they don't want to be in. But by and large, peasants migrating means that it'll be much easier for you to specifically bring a bunch of peasants to a spot. Because normally, for most countries, you're going to need to use 2 actions when you want to import a ton of people to a spot, and that is the one counselor expelling from a spot, because that means that allows peasants to migrate from that place, and then you put encourage migration with the other character on the spot you want them to go to, because that will kick the peasants out of there, and then they'll prioritize going to this place that you've made very appealing to move to. So, point being, this is much easier because all you need to do in this case is just the attract migration. But your population across your nation will be a lot more fluctuating as a result. But yap. Assimilation speed, building cost, peasants migrating, progress towards serfdom. Serfdom ain't probably so great. But in the early game with a heavy emphasis on peasants, and I imagine the nobles will be pretty important too, just like in most places, that might not be the worst for the start of your game. I doubt that you're exactly going to be industrializing very quickly as the Inca. You can try, but by and large, the building cost decrease will help with everything. I am only continuing to find reasons I want to play as the Inti. But Andean countries, all Andean countries, yeah, will have this. Okay, so yeah, I don't need to worry about being a specific one. Wait, who gets the Andean monarchy also? Countries of the region. Yeah, okay, like everyone gets these. Okay, so there's no way of you being like, well, what if I play someone that isn't Inti and then they don't have this problem on succession? Nah, everyone does. But I didn't even think about it, Dark. Yet another case of, because we were talking about ideas for like ways that like we could make the partition even worse in that particular part of the Concord. With like whenever someone dies, you get penalties for like even smaller land holdings being split off to different distant family members. Doing something like this is a perfect way of doing that, where you're like, all right, on succession of a ruler, your entire country, every tile you own gets a building. gets a building that like could maybe even stack that just gives penalties to control and
Cecil
shit.
Longbroom is so happy hearing that.
He is so happy. He fought for this. This is what he fought for.
He believes in this. The Morton cities are stronger.
Stronger, separated, divided. But the irony is the fact that he, in doing so, created the one peasant republic, which is the only place in the entire region that doesn't have this succession issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be beautiful. Alright, so here's a new building, because, yeah. Unique buildings that are locked by some advances in the age of traditions. An Incamis.
Yes.
Incamisana.
It's to make it so it's easier to live on the fucking mountains.
Yeah, yeah. And this is available anywhere. You don't need to build this specifically in cities or towns or something, yeah. Theoretically, it seems. It's a clergy building, which is interesting, but plus 250 pop cap is curious, because it's specifically pop cap for the workers, I guess. It gives you 250 pop cap, and it employs 250 clergy, and then it gives you 15% more food. So I like that. That's fun. It's a road type building, I guess. I don't know what it means specifically. The railroads.
Well, infrastructure is right above that, but also it's a temple.
Right.
Temple in honor and worship of water and the divine patrons of it. As a combination of architectural beauty and technical ingenuity, the Inca Misana has a dual purpose of being a religious building and an irrigation system.
Very convenient that. I'm sure that Eden's Church of the Holy Spud would have something similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame he isn't here to hear that. Oh gosh, I really do like these dynamic. Okay, like originally, I was not pleased with the style they were going with. Like I liked the more stylized and less detailed like images for the pops. But now that I see that they're doing like I compared it to originally to like the sort of thing I don't like about Civ 7, where the game is too it's trying to be too realistic and not being like stylized for readability. But the more I've seen it, I really like the direction they're going, because it's actually the Civ 6 kind of thing that I like, which is that they're doing a good combination of both being realistic and readable, because here they are always dressed in the same color. You look at these outfits, and this does not help the average person. You can't look at this and be like, well, obviously, like as a Canadian today, I look at that, I'm like, I don't know what that is specifically. I don't know what those clothes mean, but you see the color, and you know that red is the soldier color. So whenever you see the pops wearing red, you know, oh, those are soldiers. Good building, too. Garrison size, fort level. Wait. Circle. Oh, maybe this is their new way of representing how big of a settlement it can be built in. So this is showing that it can only be... This can be built in any tile. This one can only be built in towns. Like, it can't be built in the city. Maybe. I don't know for sure. But they keep changing a lot of the UI, and it gets confusing. But it's a good building nonetheless. It's a unique fort, which is always great. Garrison size, fort level up. Very cheap to upkeep too. Just a couple stone and just a pittance of arms.
But the next one.
Terrace farms.
Baby.
Slaves. Oh. Slaves work at the terrace farm. Oh, 50% food production. Oh. Wow. Yowie zowie, that's good.
We're fucking eating.
Just a little bit of stone. I don't know what I mean, sugar, flour. But it's not much. Doesn't need many pops to work either, and it uses slaves, so it's not hard to make those work either. Meet my obligations. Yeah, unique advances for Cuzco specifically. Oh, great. Oh, need to play Cuzco now because they're the ones with all the content. Yeah.
Glorious Cusco.
Development, non-cultural levies. That's good. That's good. Tambo building. Garrison growth. No thank you. 5% garrison growth. Mm-mm. Doesn't look like it's stackable either. Mm-mm. Literacy for clergy in the Renaissance. Peasant levy size. So yeah, in the Age of Discovery, you'll have a lot of non-cultured peasant levies as well. So you can get quite chunky armies in those territories that have those buildings if you don't want to remove them. Yeah. Adapted Incan army for the Age of Reformation. Mill taxes goes up. Yeah. And then the Inca, yeah, form of the country, and it removes Andean monarchy when you form it. And Tawantinsuyu also still has it. Well, Jesus, fuck. Okay. It's got some other, its admin efficiency is nice though. Don't really have time to look at all of this though.
It's just like events.
Yeah, events. You can get an estate privilege. For the clergy that gives you extra tolerance. Very tiny amount of tolerance. Weird. And then decentralization. Doesn't sound especially useful to me.
Now, on Wednesday, though, and Friday.
So, Monday, feedback for China, and Wednesday, mechanics for the Middle Kingdom, the Chinese Empire IO, and flavor for China. Okay, that's going to be cooking. There's going to be some good eats next week. I'm looking forward to that. I definitely want to see the way that the Chinese Empire works, even though it's realistically not going to exist very often because it's just going to collapse and then never reform. At least from what we've seen. But, I don't know. But with this, yeah. Why are you? Here's Matt for being a G. Like, use the English names. Why are you using? Why can't we see like Tawantinsuyu and the? Oh wait, no. He's asking why we aren't using the name. Native American tags should get an exemption. Why aren't you using? Yeah, okay. That's true. I didn't think about the fact that Tawantinsuyu is like if they use that would mean it's an exception to the rule about using English names because they use the English translation for stuff, which is fair.
No, I'll tell you, that's not a translation of Tawantinsuyu.
It's not. They just you're right. Yeah, it's just what the English call it. It's not a translation of it. Don't know what the hell a translation of Tawantinsuyu would be, but
it's like Four Corners or something. Let me check.
So an empire that means something like eternal, all of the world kind of thing. Yeah.
The name Tawantinsuyu translates to the four regions together.
Makes sense. But I will need to. Yeah, I'd love to. I've been debating it, but no, I can't. I'd be risking being late for work, and it's not
That's fine.
It's not a long shift, but I really shouldn't be late for it.
But yeah, short stream.
Short streams are fine. When I should double. I don't actually know when my next shift is after this one. I think I've got some time off too, so I better make sure that I do it right. I'm going to a baseball game, guys. Oh my goodness, so exciting. Yeah, I have 4 days off in a row after this one, so I'm gonna watch a baseball game. Every time I'm there, my team gets thrashed. That's the funny thing. When I'm present, my team loses bad. But whenever I'm not there, I always hear about how they did really well. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but well, I guess I'm bad luck. So, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go watch a baseball game and tell a bunch of kids to stop opening the emergency exit door. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye.